Maoist Rebel News fans, many of you are probably aware of who John Stossel is. He's a big-time libertarian that contributes to Fox News. Now, recently he was on a Fox and Friends program where he bashed the National Flood Insurance Program, saying that the presence of this government paid-for insurance, government insurance program, encourages people to have risky behavior and live in areas that normally would be too expensive or too big of a risk. Now, this is all, and that this program should be abolished, and it shouldn't exist. It should be gone. Now, while acknowledging that he himself has benefited from this same program 3 times, which is, well, it is a hypocritical stance. Now, the conservative guest host, Peter Johnson, couldn't understand why he volunteered for a program that he was actually against. Wait a second. That are not on the beach, that are not on the riverfronts, that are blocks in, that never anticipated that the ocean would come, that the bay would come. They paid their premiums. They're not rich people like you were. If you're so rich, why don't you give the money back? Why was the federal government selling it? I blame the politicians. We don't have special car insurance for Lindsay Lohan. I paid the premium. I'm going to take the money. Of course you're going to take the money. You know, John, I know you collected 3 times from federal government. It was an absolutely great deal. Now, obviously, this is very, very hypocritical for having benefited from it and then advocating that it be destroyed. Well, it kind of depends. If there was no... I got to understand why this thing came into existence because the federal flood insurance program came through in 1968, because private insurers said that it was just not doable, that it was that kind of flood insurance was uninsurable, which is why the public option came in. Now, if there was no private option available and there was only a public option available, then, well, he can't really be blamed for taking it. You can't really call him a hypocrite in that situation because you need flood insurance. And if a private option is not available, you have to take the public option because flood insurance is necessary, because floods do happen and they do destroy quite a lot. So you can't really call him a hypocrite for taking it if the private option was not available. Now, I don't think that's the case here. I think there was a private option available, and he was responding to his rational economic interest. He took a cheaper public option over a more expensive private option. So, I mean, isn't this one of those contradictions of capitalism? Capitalism is a system of contradiction, as Marx correctly pointed out. He will respond to his rational economic interest, but his rational economic interest went against the principles of a free market. So what happens here? It's just very interesting to point that out, because he did do what is logical. He took the cheaper insurance over the more expensive insurance, even though he probably literally could have afforded it. I mean, he is a wealthy man. He's not hard up for cash or anything. It's just very interesting to note this situation and to see the entire context of everything that was going on at the time.